How the fuck does that happen? Sorry. Let me start over. How does that happen? Oh my God. StreamYard, StreamYard, get it together. I'm trying to put on a show here. Anyway, okay, I want to say hi to everybody all over again. Thank you so much. Yes, I love the new intro. I had to change it up. Okay, I had to change it up. Yesterday was not a good day for me. So what did I do? I sat here making songs, sad songs, sad songs. Just feelings. Hi Amber. What up, our dog? How are you? All right, people. See this beautiful little girl right here? I don't know if you were on a live. Oh God, if you, I don't know, a few weeks or a few days back. I don't know, maybe 5 days ago. Um, the BPS brought up this little girl's story here. Her name is Sherrice Iverson. Horrible case. Um, I'm not. I don't want to go into details. I did not get the court documents. My whole thing here is to bring attention to David Cat, David Thomas Cash Jr. That's what I'm doing. And let's not forget about Sherrice. Mm-mm. Justice has not been served. Hold on, let me show you here. Okay, here's the demon that's in there right now. Okay, this is Jeremy. Oh God, how do you say his name? Hold on, let me look. How do you say his name? Strockmeyer, I think. Strockmeyer. Okay. She. Okay. You know what? I should just get to it. I go from one thing to another. Okay, and this is the guy I want to be talking about today. Okay, this is David. David Cash Jr. There he is celebrating, thinking he's all famous. He watched his friend do things to this little girl, and back then they didn't have laws, and he should have been. The grand jury decided not to indict that boy right there. They're calling them teenagers. Every article I'm finding, they're calling them teens, teenagers. No, they were 18. Okay, going to college and all that fun shit. All right, annoying, just annoying. Everybody here with me? Everybody still here with me? As I'm going on a rant. I'm sorry. My mind's been going 100 miles an hour on this case. Okay, where's that baby girl's picture? Hold on. Let me show you. Let me get another picture up of her. Sherrice Iverson was 7 years old when she was sexually assaulted and murdered in a bathroom at a casino in Nevada while his friend watched. Oh, girl. But from my understanding, I could be wrong that his daddy, I could be wrong. I'm trying to find him. You know what I'm trying to do. Okay, here she is right here. Um, I'm trying to find David. And let me tell you, he's hiding himself pretty well. Okay, people? I should have found something on him by now, and I haven't. Because I want to remind him of Sherrice. Especially after we watch a show that he was on, a talk show called The Good Samaritan. It's gonna strike a nerve. But boy, I hope David sees this. I really do, people. I really hope he does. I'm putting this on all my social media platforms. Here we go.
My name is Sherrice Iverson. When I was 7 years old, I was sexual assaulted and murdered by Jeremy Stromier, while David Cash Jr. watched and did not try to save me. Today, David Cash Jr. is walking the streets happy and free.
That's right. That's going on all my social media right there. Okay, let me go to. Okay, let me go to the Wikipedia. I hate doing Wikipedia, but I'm going to go to Wikipedia, okay? Because I like to do my own research, but this is what happened here in a whole. All right, so the crime, okay, it happened on May 25th, 1997. So it's coming up on what? Let's see, when did this happen? It's now May, okay? It's going to be 28 years, I think. Is it 28 years, you guys? 97, 2007, 17. Do the math for me. Do the math. I'm gonna get going here. There we go. Okay, I'm just gonna, not go word for word. Okay, so this happened at the See, they have to tell the ages. 18, 17. Let's get it out there. Okay, was at the Prima Donna Resort and Hotel, and is it Prime? Would it be Prima, Nevada? The two young men had arrived at the gambling establishment, accompanied by Cash's father. Keep that in mind. Cash is the one that is not sitting in prison or ever been charged in anything within this case, by the way. And I heard his daddy was a DA. So they are accompanied by Cash's father from their homes in Long Beach. Okay, Jeremy right here. Jeremy. We're going to talk about Jeremy now. At 4 a.m., Jeremy began repeatedly making playful contact with 7-year-old Sherrice Iverson, who was roaming the casino alone. The young girl's father was gambling and drinking. Sherrice's father left the care to the 14-year-old brother Harold in the casino arcade. I'm saying this right now. Please, nobody in my chat, we are not going to go after the father. Absolutely not. The man has passed away, but I will not let them talk bad in my chat. Okay? About the father. Absolutely not. Okay, so she was left to care for 14-year-old brother. The results is Sherrice running around unmonitored. Who? Wikipedia, you're evil. The girl had been returned to her father several times throughout the night. Having been found alone by security, eventually Jeremy followed Sherrice into the women's bathroom. While in the bathroom, the two began throwing wet paper wads at each other. Sherrice then reportedly tossed a yellow plastic white floor sign at Jeremy. At around that time, Jeremy's friend David Cash entered the restroom and witnessed Jeremy personally taking Sherrice Iverson into a stall. When Cash looked into the adjacent stall, he saw Jeremy holding his left hand over Sherrice's mouth and fondling her with his right. After this, Cash left the... See, there's more to it than this. Cash left the restroom and was followed 20 minutes later by Jeremy, who confessed that he had unalived the girl. Cash asked Jeremy if Sherrice had been aroused. Later asked by a reporter why he would say this, Cash replied, "I don't know. It's just the way I think." 3 days later, they were taken into custody. Okay. At his home, two classmates identified him as security footage was being shown. Okay, so they got arrested. When questioned by police, Jeremy stated that he essayed Sherrice Iverson and strangled her to stifle her screams. Before leaving, Jeremy noticed that Sherrice Iverson was still alive and twisted her head in an attempt to break her neck. He heard a popping sound. He rested her body in a sitting position on the toilet with her feet in the bowl. Okay. Okay, what we're going to do here, we're going to, Jesus, this is so sick. All right. So what we're going to watch here is The Bad Samaritan. I mean, there's so much.
Everybody.
I gotta look at my phone here. Sorry, I want to make sure. Hopefully, I don't get a strike, but we'll find out. We'll find out.
Or almost everybody is familiar with the story in the Bible of the Good Samaritan who stops to help a wounded man lying by the side of the road. And most of us would like to believe we would do the same. We'd also like to believe that a young college student like David Cash would have been good Samaritan enough to have stepped in and done something, anything, when he saw another young man, his best friend, assaulting a little girl who minutes later his best friend raped and murdered. But for the past few months, David Cash has been the subject of nationwide outrage over his decision to walk away and not even report the rape and murder of 7-year-old Sherrice Iverson. The 19-year-old Cash, a sophomore at the University of California at Berkeley and a nuclear engineering major, has become an outcast.
Did you hear that? Berkeley? Do you hear how smart this kid is? This kid is unbelievable. You want to know why? Because he, oh God, his own words. You're going to hear his own words. He's going to get rich and famous off this. They made a law because of this guy, okay? They made a law because of him. We'll get to Sherrice law in a minute. Hold on a minute. There we go.
On campus.
We want Cash out! We want Cash out!
Many of his fellow students there are demanding the university expel him. They are infuriated not only by his failure to save Sherrice Iverson, but also by remarks he made this summer on a Los Angeles radio program.
How much am I supposed to sit down and cry about this? I mean, let's be reasonable here. Is my life supposed to halt for days, weeks, and months on end?
And if that weren't bad enough, he added this.
The simple fact remains, I do not know this little girl. I do not know starving children in Panama. I do not know, people.
You hear that shit? Do you hear that guy? Wow, he's something else. Wow. See, he doesn't even care, you guys. He has no feelings. I wonder if he has children.
Iverson, but also by remarks he made this summer on a Los Angeles radio program.
How much am I supposed to sit down and cry about this? I mean, let's be reasonable here. Is my life supposed to halt for days, weeks, and months on end?
And if that weren't bad enough, he added this.
The simple fact remains, I do not know this little girl. I do not know starving children in Panama. I do not know, people that die of disease in Egypt.
Some people have called you the bad Samaritan.
That's right.
You think that's an appropriate name?
No, most certainly not. These names that people call me, I've been called the antithesis of today's teens, a bad Samaritan, a textbook sociopath. I've been called it all.
David Cash's trouble started just before he enrolled at Berkeley. One night last year, his father took him and his best friend Jeremy Strohmeyer, seen together in this home video, to a casino near Las Vegas. Surveillance cameras there show the two boys playing video games at 3:30 in the morning. Strohmeyer then spots Sherrice Iverson, whose father was gambling nearby. The cameras record Sherrice walking into a women's restroom, followed by Jeremy Strohmeyer, and then a minute later by David Cash.
When I entered the bathroom, Jeremy Strohmeyer and Sherrice Iverson were throwing paper towels at each other. They were just playing, seemed to horsing around. And it came to a point where Jeremy grabbed her and took her into a stall, to one of the bathroom stalls. I went to the adjacent stall, looked over, and Jeremy was restraining her with his left hand over her stomach.
That's his story, and he's sticking to it, people. That's his story, and he's sticking to it. You know what? They had to go through a grand jury indictment, right, to get these charges for this poor little girl, the 7-year-old. Hi, how are you, Patty? Oh, he's something else. I wonder, by this time, he has kids. Maybe he has grandchildren too. Shame on you. Shame on you.
And his right hand over her mouth.
And she was trying to scream.
He was muffling her screams.
Cash says he then heard Strohmeyer threaten Sherrice Iverson, saying, "Shut up, or I'll kill you."
I tapped him on the head, because it was completely out of character, and he didn't really respond to me. He gave me kind of a blank stare. So, in my opinion, it was like time for me to get out of there.
Why?
Well, when an 18-year-old male grabs a 7-year-old child, that's not a position I want to be in. Based on what I saw, it wasn't something I wanted to stick around and see what would materialize.
Did you say to him, Jeremy?
Oh my God! I told you, I haven't watched this whole thing, but oh my God, I'm just.
Come on, stop, let's go.
I was giving him a look as if, that he shouldn't be doing that.
But you never said, stop, get out of here, this is wrong.
Verbally, I did not say that, but my body language certainly suggested it.
Oh, Jesus.
According to the surveillance cameras, David Cash walked out of the bathroom about 2 minutes after he entered. Strohmeyer was seen leaving some 22 minutes later. But Sherrice Iverson never left. Her body was discovered in the bathroom. She had been sexually assaulted and strangled. What did he say to you when he came out?
He immediately confessed.
Confessed?
Yes.
What did he say?
He looked at me and said, I killed her.
Just like that?
Just like that.
After Strohmeyer confessed to Cash that he had killed Sherrice Iverson, they went to other casinos where they played slot machines and rode roller coasters for several hours before heading back home to California. Did you think to turn him in to the police?
The thought crossed my mind, but I didn't act on it.
Why?
I know that his day of reckoning is coming. I didn't want to be the one that turned him in.
You felt that was more important than to report a murderer.
Even though he had told me that he had committed murder, it was really hard for me to fathom Jeremy as a quote-unquote murderer.
But he told you.
Oh my
I
God.
understand that, but
Oh
he's
my
also...
God. Somebody that, listen to this kid, okay? I call him a kid, yes. He's in Berkeley. This guy is some kind of engineer, you guys. People have been trying to find him. I just want to remind him about who Sherrice is, that's all. I'm all right. I'm better today, thank you.
My best friend, we're taking AP English together.
But after Cash and Strohmeyer returned home, friends who had seen the surveillance tapes played on the local news tipped off police. Strohmeyer was charged with murder, and 3 weeks ago, to avoid the death penalty, he pled guilty. He is now serving life in prison without parole. But David Cash, who watched as Strohmeyer physically assaulted a little girl just minutes before she was murdered, has not been charged with any crimes.
He's evil! He's evil!
Yolanda Manuel is Sherrice Iverson's mother. She is estranged from Sherrice's father and was not at the casino with him the night of the murder. She has collected 20,000 signatures urging prosecutors to charge Cash with a crime.
He seen Jeremy Strohmeyer put his hands over her mouth and carried her in the bathroom. He seen it. Anytime you stand and you look at something happening to anybody, not only your child, any human being, a dog, a cat, or whatever, you've seen that happen. So you a murder within yourself. You still got the blood of my babies on your hand.
That's right.
You think he is an accessory to murder?
Yes, he is. I think he should be charged with accessory to the murder of my child because he could have did something to stop it. He didn't do anything.
Peggy Lean is the deputy district attorney in Nevada, whose office made the decision not to bring charges against Cash. How would you characterize the conduct of David Cash?
Morally reprehensible. And it's unfathomable that someone could see conduct of that nature and not take some form of action.
Why then didn't your office charge him with any crime?
Moral reprehensibility isn't a crime. You have to participate, do something affirmatively to assist in the commission of a crime. Watching and failing to report, regrettably, is not a crime.
But, I mean, isn't there something wrong with that? I mean, you've got someone who could have saved that child's life and who did nothing about it, and yet there's no way to hold him accountable.
There may not be any way to hold him legally accountable. He's certainly accountable in the court of public opinion, and he's certainly accountable ultimately in how people respond to his morally bankrupt behavior.
We asked David Cash to explain his behavior to a group of fellow students we assembled on the campus of Berkeley, and he agreed.
Legally accountable. He's certainly accountable in the court of public opinion, and he's certainly accountable ultimately in how people respond to his morally bankrupt behavior.
We asked David Cash to explain his behavior to a group of fellow students we assembled on the campus of Berkeley, and he agreed.
A lot of people say, how come you didn't stop the murder? How come you stop the rape? I never felt anything was going to happen to her. If I thought that, that...
This is going too fast. Hold on. I want to hear it. He's trying to say here.
We assembled on the campus of Berkeley, and he agreed.
A lot of people say, how come you didn't stop the murder? How come you stop the rape? I never felt anything was going to happen to her. If I thought that, that was going to happen, of course I would have stopped it. I don't want this on my conscience that, I allowed, somebody to die.
Is it on your conscience?
Not to the extent that
yes or no? Is it on your
not
conscience?
To the extent that most people would want it to be.
Yes or no?
Not to the extent that most people would want it to be.
Okay.
I really have a hard time believing that you thought that nothing wrong was going on.
Yeah,
doesn't it alarm you that for 25 minutes he's still in the bathroom with a 7-year-old girl? I mean, that's just not a normal occurrence, and wouldn't you want to go back in there?
Okay, let's think of it. Let's say after 25 minutes I come to the conclusion that he's murdered this girl, all right? Do I storm into the bathroom now? And then what happens to me? Okay, let's say a security guard walks in, sitting here, with my best friend with the dead body there. You know what I mean?
I think it's very clear to all of us that David Cash's mindset was, what is best for me? What is going to keep me out of trouble? You have expressed no remorse, no feeling that you felt bad at all that this young girl was murdered.
How is it that you can sit there and feel comfortable with yourself, waiting 3 days when you could have assisted the police in pursuing Jeremy? However, you could have done any number of things, but you did nothing.
It's easy for you people to say, oh, you should have done this, you should have done that. Like, you didn't know Jeremy. But at the time, I made the best possible decision.
You still stood by and let a little girl be raped and killed, and I don't think we should stand by and let you get away with that.
You just said I stood by and let a little girl get raped and killed.
Yeah.
That is wrong. I did not see that. I did not know that was happening.
David Cash was unable to convince these students that he belongs at Berkeley. They say they want him out.
Do you have any intention of leaving?
No, I do not. That would be foolish.
Why?
Berkeley is one of the best engineering schools in the country.
Did you hear that? That's for a fact. He's an engineer, and obviously he has Paul or mommy and daddy have money because he didn't get kicked out like everybody wanted him to.
Why would I leave? That would be stupid.
A number of students say that they're going to take matters into their own hands and in essence, run you out of here. Can they?
They will fail. I have no intention of leaving.
You see that? Look at that. Look at his attitude with him. They will fail. I have no intention of leaving. Any comments? Anybody have comments? So it'd be 29 years. On May 25th. It should be, right? Especially how I've seen people like stick up for this guy saying he was immature. The boys' minds at that time, they're immature, at their age more so than women. Oh, shut the hell up.
Despite the uproar on campus, Berkeley Chancellor Robert Berdahl says he cannot expel Cash because he hasn't committed a crime and he hasn't broken any university rules.
David Cash has done reprehensible things in not acting, I think, to intervene. He said outrageous things. But even when students act in an outrageous fashion, we can't simply take an arbitrary action against them on the basis of some kind of moral outrage that people feel.
Does the university have a moral responsibility to do something about students who behave so atrociously?
What has offended the community sensibilities, I think, are the things that he has said. Berkeley is, for better or worse, the home of the free speech movement, and we are not about to punish students simply for exercising the right of free speech, no matter how outrageous and objectionable things they may say.
What David Cash did or did not do in this case is perfectly legal, not just in Nevada, but in nearly every state. But the conduct of Cash has prompted legislation calling for a Good Samaritan law, which would require citizens who witness a sexual assault or other violent crime against children to report it to the police. Surprisingly, it does not have the support of many in law enforcement, including the prosecutor in the Sherrice Iverson case.
Should we as a society punish this as a crime? It's basically an attempt to legislate morality. And historically, we haven't been very successful in our efforts to legislate morality. From prohibition to prostitution, you can tell somebody not to do it, you can regulate it, you can punish it. But ultimately, it doesn't do a very good job of changing the conduct.
Sherrice Iverson's mother disagrees with the prosecutor. Yolanda Manuel says a Good Samaritan law is the only way to punish the David Cashes of the world.
David Cash needs to be locked up. I want his education taken away from him. My child would not be able to go on with her education. She was 7 years old. She would not be able to go to junior high. She would not be able to go to high school or college and beyond.
Have you ever said anything that would say, Miss Manuel, I'm sorry about what happened. I wish there was something I could have done. Have you ever expressed that to her? No. Maybe not in those exact words, but you have it.
No, but I mean, that's definitely a good idea that I definitely should.
A year and a half later, yeah, it is kind of a good idea.
Yeah. A year and a half later, yeah, that'd be a good idea. Oh my God, he don't care. I wonder how this guy is still walking. For real. For real. I don't understand. I'm not saying I want any harm to come of him, but he should be sitting in a prison cell.
You disgust me, seriously. Like, it's taking all my energy to sit here and sit in front of your face. But yeah.
The simple fact is there's one person that killed Sherrice Iverson. There's one guy, Jeremy Strohmeyer.
Yeah,
and
there's one person that could have saved her and chose not to.
One other person who could have stopped it.
Technically,
oh God,
I could have stopped it, but based on what I saw, I didn't feel her life was in danger.
If you could go back to that night and do it all over again, what would you do differently?
I don't feel there's much I could have done differently.
No, he did not. Yet we have grown-ass men and women sitting in prison because of the same crap. Oh my God. Can you believe that?
My name is Sherrice Iverson. When I was 7 years old, I was sexual assaulted and murdered by Jeremy Stromier, while David Cash Jayer watched and did not try to save me. Today, David Cash Jayer is walking the streets happy and free.
That's right. So yeah, there's going to be, like, this is part one. I want to show you the law. The law did get passed. Let's look at it. I'm going to show you in Congress here, then we'll go through the document. Here it is right here. S793, Sherrice Iverson Act. There you go. It's right here. They tried to pay that mama off too. Oh, she's, I don't know. She's strong. Where is it? Hold on. I'm trying to find. Is this it? Oh. All right, here we go. So here's the Sherrice Iverson Act, duty to report child abuse and neglect. Okay, it became a law. Let's see, when did it become a law? I wonder if I can make this bigger. Hold on, guys. I'm going to download this. Hold on. I mean, why? Oh, and this guy here, he ain't getting out, people. Jeremy, no. People are concerned about that. He's not. He's trying to change his or take his oh, what the hell is it called? I can't even think right now. All right, because of you, David Thomas Cash Jr., there is a Sherrice Iverson Act, and what's sad is she would be alive today. Okay. Duty to report child abuse and neglect. Okay. Oh, what's this? Just like go there. Let's see. This is 26 pages. We are not. Let's see. Okay, a little girl could still be alive today if the duty to report legislation, hold on, existed. At the very minimum, her family could have justice. Sherrice Iverson had one last chance for help, for someone to save her from a horrific ordeal that began as a game. Someone that had the potential to be a little Sherrice hero was really her greatest and most crucial disappointment. David Cash Jr., her last chance, he did not save her. He did not even summons help. He watched part of the assault by standing on the toilet next to the adjacent stall. He heard his friend Jeremy threaten to unalive her if she didn't shut up, and then with a callousness, the unmanageable, he walked outside and waited for his friend. Although I don't know that word, sorry. And failure to summons authority is not a crime. It is not legally punishable at all. It is disturbing that a human being in our society could watch the atrocious crime being committed against a 7-year-old girl and take no action. Mr. Cash watched as his friend hand muffled Sherrice's scream of terror, then simply walked away. We have a weak legal system which doesn't understand the crimes of omission that can be in some ballpark of commission or crimes of commission. The absence of a good Samaritan law is the way of helping people evade accountability. All that society asks is for people to report a crime to the proper authorities, not to risk a life or a limb to save an innocent and helpless child. Short of being shunned by society, there's no way to punish Mr. Cash for his inhumane behavior. Instead, he gained celebrity status, which he did, people, which he did. He would go on interviews and, I showed you here. Did I show you that picture of him in that car? Did I show you that? Hold on a minute. Is this it? He felt like he was a celebrity, you guys. Look at this. He sure did. So let's make him that celebrity that he wants to be. Let's remind him of Sherrice Iverson. That baby right there. All right. Let me get back here, people. All right. Hold on. I got to fix my thing here. There we go. That's better. All right. So instead, he gained celebrity status and was permitted to revel in his newfound publicity. Our society should be protecting the future of our children. We should make Sherrice Iverson's short, innocent life count. It is too late for Sherrice, who her life brutally stolen. Her life is brutally stolen. But we should not let her death be in vain. Part 2 of the note. They comprise a brief overview of the earliest duration of the duty to report a crime, misprison, or felony. In addition, it'll entail a good discussion of traditional arguments against the enacting of the Good Samaritan legislation, namely the value of anatomy, the monetary and non-monetary costs, law enforcement's purpose and need becoming moot, the dangers of vaguenesses and overbreadth, and the fear of retaliation. Part 2 will illustrate the duty to report legislation that has been recently passed, a few cases that have been decided under that legislation. This part will introduce the Sherrice Iverson case, which permitted the legislation that is a subject of this note. Part 3 will consist of proposed legislation of Sherrice Iverson's honor. Finally, part 4, will consist of analysis of Sherrice Iverson Act, discussing its major strengths and weaknesses based on traditional arguments against such. Okay, guys? This is 26 pages. You know I'm not going to read all 26. No. Hell no. Yep. Right. Hold on a minute. I want to see here. I want to see what this comes to here. I want to see what else they say about her. All right. Conclusion. Here we go. Horrifyingly, by the time a girl reaches the age of 8, 1 out of 4 has been SA'd, and in the case of boys, 1 in every 6. Even more alarming, 90 to 95% of all SA abuse on children goes unreported. The children are afraid to report the crimes that are being committed against them. Maybe they are ashamed, scared, or alone. Someone needs to protect the children, and if we're not going to do voluntarily, then the legislative mandated by forcing society to report these crimes under the imposition of criminal penalties. Let's see. The Sherrice Iverson Act proposes to impose criminal penalties on someone like Mr. Cash, David Cash Jr., who knew that the child was being essayed and did not summons authorities. This act will survive the traditional arguments against Good Samaritan legislation. It will impose a small burden on the individual's privacy and anatomy. It's not anatomy, that's a word. That costs associated with the law are no greater than the costs associated with any criminal law. Law enforcement jobs will not become mute, but will be facilitated by public assistance in reporting child abuse. State statutories will need to narrow the legislation they draft to comply with the Sherrice Iverson Act, so it can survive. So it can survive a void for vagueness and overbroad challenge. The fear that the Good Samaritan will be retaliated against is justified in theory. However, in reality, retaliation is rarely encountered. And the ladies' restroom stall, Sherrice's life was brutally stolen by a monster. Mr. David Cash Jr. witnessed the attack, which proceeded into her murder of this helpless 7-year-old, and he did absolutely nothing to help her. He turned his back on the little girl. Sherrice's mother said that he could have stopped it, but he didn't do anything about it. I don't want this to happen to anyone else. The Sherrice Iverson Act cannot force people to call the proper authorities, but it can criminally punish those who choose to ignore a child in need of help. This act can send a message to society that callousness will no longer be tolerated, that abuse on children will no longer be tolerated, and those have the ability to prevent such abuse will be punishable. There you go. There's that. There's that, people. Anybody have any comments about this? Anybody? I think I'll just, okay, I want to show you guys this. This is a cop talking about it 20 years later, and he's still affected by it. Okay? Detective or whoever he may be, I don't know. Okay?
Cases that you remember forever. And, the Sherrice Iverson case was definitely one of those just because of the dynamics of it. I mean, it was a brutal, senseless murder of a little child.
In May of 1997, 7-year-old Sherrice Iverson was playing in an arcade in Primm, Nevada, when 18-year-old Jeremy Strohmeyer lured her into a nearby women's restroom, forced her into the largest stall, then sexually assaulted and strangled her.
When I was taking his confession, he was just so matter of fact. He had absolutely no remorse at all. He described in graphic detail how he killed Sherrice, what he did to her, what he wanted to do to her, and why he wanted to do it.
After that, I just wanted to leave. And I noticed that the girl was still breathing, barely. I didn't want to leave her that way, so I tried to break her neck.
Can I ask you one question? Sure. Did you, when she was having this labored breathing, did you consider trying to give her a little bit of CPR yourself and then take off?
No, I've never crossed my mind.
He was very graphic about it. He showed me just how he positioned his hands and snapped her neck and trying to kill her like he had seen on TV.
Strohmeyer's friend, David Cash, witnessed him covering Sherrice's mouth and forcing her into the bathroom stall, but never stopped the attack or told police. Cash was never charged with a crime.
We were very disappointed that we couldn't bring some kind of charges against David, and he flaunted it. I mean, he just, there's nothing you can do. I didn't do anything wrong. I wanted to kick his ass just for being a jerk, but couldn't do that.
6 days after Sherrice was killed, more than 200 family members, friends, and classmates converged on a South Central Los Angeles church to mourn the little girl and share their memories. In exchange for not suing the hotel casino, Sherrice's father, Leroy Iverson, asked for $100, a room at the hotel, dinner for his 14-year-old, his daughter's funeral paid for, and some beer.
After the initial investigation, after the arrest, I don't think that there was a great deal of interest in it or the attention that this would have drawn just because of where she lived and the circumstances of her everyday life. And that's a shame. It's terrible.
Yeah.
She's just a kid.
I mean, no attention. Nobody's paying attention to this little baby, right? They lost her life.
Sports brought to you by Station Casinos, STN Sports.
But here you've got David Cash Jr. out there getting all famous for this.
My name is Sherrice Iverson. When I was 7 years old, I was sexual assaulted and murdered by Jeremy Stromier, while David Cash Jr. watched and did not try to save me. Today, David Cash Jr. is walking the streets happy and free.
That's right. Okay, so here is a little clip I found of his attorney. Now, his attorney at trial, too bad this wasn't public. I would have loved to watch his trial, by the way. He made a plea deal, but where is this? Hold on. Hold on. She was at a deposition or something. She testifies. Anyways, you guys know who she is, right?
As investigative.
His attorney? His attorney was a lady that the Mendez's brothers' attorneys. Okay, let's see. Here we go.
There's always going to be certain cases that you remember forever. And, the Sherrice Iverson case was definitely one of those just because of the dynamics of it. It was a brutal, senseless murder of a little child.
In May of 1997, 7-year-old Sherrice Iverson was playing in an arcade in Primm, Nevada, when 18-year-old Jeremy Stromier lured her into a nearby women's restroom, forced her into the largest stall, then sexually assaulted and strangled her.
When I was taking his confession, he was just so matter-of-fact. He had absolutely no remorse at all. He described in graphic detail how he killed Sherrice, what he did to her, what he wanted to do to her, and why he wanted to do it.
After that, I just wanted to leave. And I noticed that the girl was still breathing, barely. I didn't want to leave her that way, so I tried to break her neck.
Can I ask you one question?
Look at that.
Did you, when she was having this labored breathing, did you consider trying to give her a little bit of CPR yourself and then take off?
No, I never crossed my mind.
He was very graphic about it. He showed me just how he positioned his hands and snapped her neck and trying to kill her like he had seen on TV.
Stromeyer's friend, David Cash, witnessed him covering Sherrice's mouth and forcing her into the bathroom stall, but never stopped the attack or told police. Cash was never charged with a crime.
We were very disappointed that we couldn't bring some kind of...
the same dang thing. Her dad passed away shortly after, you guys. Okay, here is his attorney, Leslie Iverson, if you guys remember that name, testifying.
So far, here at the Clark County Courthouse, it's been the heavy hitters that have testified here in this hearing. First one to testify was former Stromier attorney Leslie Abramson. And then this afternoon, Jeremy Stromier himself took the stand. It is a very unusual case happening today and tomorrow inside the Clark County Courthouse. Leslie Abramson, a famous Los Angeles attorney who represented Jeremy Stromier in his last plea, is now being called into question by Jeremy's new lawyers. Jeremy's new lawyers are trying to prove that he was bullied into pleading guilty of raping and murdering 7-year-old Sherrice Iverson back in 1997 in a Primm, Nevada casino.
Mr. Stromier had consistently maintained the position that he would rather go to trial and be.
Did you guys hear that? Did you guys hear that? He's saying he was bullied. He was bullied, you guys. He was bullied. Plus, he's also said he was bullied into making that statement. Now he's innocent, people. Now people actually think he's innocent. I've seen it on Facebook. People are like, I don't think he was the one in that bathroom. I think it was somebody else. It's not him. He should be free. I'm seeing that on Facebook. How gross is that?
In his last plea is now being called into question by Jeremy's new lawyers. Jeremy's new lawyers are trying to prove that he was bullied into pleading guilty of raping and murdering 7-year-old Sherrice Iverson back in 1997 in a Prim, Nevada casino.
Mr. Stromeyer had consistently maintained the position that he would rather go to trial and be executed after trial than take life without parole. And that Leslie Abramson was absolutely aware of this at the time that they started to go over to the district attorney's office to discuss plea.
They weren't going to win this trial. They had no chance to win this trial, and they needed to cut their losses. If you look at the work that they did, and of course you're familiar with the reputation of Mr. Wright in this community, there is no way that they don't measure up to a standard of reasonable confidence.
The first witness called to testify was Leslie Abramson, and she found herself being cross-examined by Jeremy Stromeyer's new defense attorney. She was put to question for many things that she did during the long preparation for a trial that never happened, but she said many times that she did not bully him into pleading guilty.
When we ultimately went to him and discussed the fact that we thought there was an offer available of life without parole, he agreed to it. And I was extremely surprised. He seemed extremely mature at that point.
And then just before the noon hour, Jeremy Stromeyer himself took the stand. He took the oath while wearing khaki pants, a blue shirt, and a pullover sweater, looking more like he'd just come out of a college class than jail. He talked about his relationship with Leslie Abramson and said many times she treated him like a child.
She would always want to cut me off and raise her voice and overpower me, basically telling me that my input wasn't worth anything, and that I learned pretty quick that to give input would just raise her ire, and no reason to do it. I trusted that she was. I trusted her.
This hearing to reverse the guilty plea was expected to last 2 days, today and tomorrow. However, it's going a bit slower than first thought and may extend now into Thursday. Again, the goal by Stromeyer's new lawyers is to try to get a guilty plea reversed, and that is very rare. Reporting from Las Vegas, Nevada, Wayne Garcia, KCAL 9 News.
Jesus. Comments, anybody? Anybody? Comments? Oh, I do want to show that. I want to show one more thing, and then I'm done. Then I'm out. Hold on. Oh, sorry, guys. I had to go check on something. Any comments, anybody? Sorry, I got to get my headphones up. So sorry. Hand me that gray poupon. Can you? Can you? Oh, look who's here. Look who's here. Hey, girl. We're almost done here. There's a 41-minute video I want to go through, but I'm not going to go through it now because I want people to participate with me with this. I just want to show a couple more things and I'm out. But there's a 41-minute video I want to go through also. Here he is, just so you people know. Here he is. Right? Here he is, right here. See how that does that? That is so weird. So there's nothing going on here. I brought up his parole. Here, let me bring it up for you guys. Hold on. Let's see, parole. Look at all the time he's been to the parole board. This is crazy. File viewer. All right. So we get to see all his movement here. Hold on. Hold up. We're gonna look at all his movement here real quick. I know, see, I don't like how I do things. I can't help it. Okay? I go from one thing to another to another to another. I can't help it though. So we're gonna look at this here real quick because I've seen people, not here, but I've seen people like in other areas on the internet worried about parole. It's not gonna happen. It really ain't. We get to look at everything here. From 1998, then he talked to 1997. We get to see how many times he was at the parole board. Okay, so we got how many dockets here in this. Okay, let's go. Look at all that. We get to see all that. When's the last one? 8/5/2025 was the last time he was in the parole board room. So I just want to put that out there. Nothing happened. Nothing happened. He ain't going nowhere. I just want to put that there. Okay. All right. And his mother, her mother, Sherrice Iverson's mother, what's her name? Yolanda Manuel? She was 28 years old when this happened, but boy, a shy 28-year-old from South Central, Yolanda Manuel, makes a living as a public school cafeteria worker. Yet anytime she clears her throat to speak these days, television crews rush to capture every word. I tried to find some of the interviews she's done and press conferences, but I cannot find anything but pictures as of right now. But I want to get to where she talks about David Cash Jr. Yolanda wants Jeremy's best friend, David Cash Jr., a prosecution's witness, to stand trial as well. Well, we know this ain't going to happen. But when is the date on this? This was August 24th, 1998. Because he saw at least the initial stages of the attack and did not go get help. She's now a spiritual leader of what she calls a campaign for justice to pressure the authorities to bringing charges against David Cash Jr. So I think she's still fighting those two people. See, this mama's mad. I couldn't even imagine. She says, Mr. Cash is free to go on with his life. And she says, I'm not going to get upset over somebody else's life. I'm just going to worry about mine first. Oh, that's what he said. Oh my God, that's what he told the Los Angeles Times. He said, I'm going to get upset over somebody else's life. I'm just going to worry about myself first. Holy shit. Wow. So I'm going to share this with you guys. If you guys want to look at this article, I haven't even read it yet. Oh, God. New York Times did that article here. All right. So this is only going to be part one. There's going to be many, many parts to this because I want to go through that 41-minute interview or special on this. This is the last known picture of David Thomas Cash Jr. I don't know, 20 something. I don't know what he looks like now. And this is on a library right here. Jeremy. Anybody have any comments? Anything before I go? Anybody? Oops. Yo, how you doing? Let me tell you, this case has been in my head ever since you told me about it. I'm on a mission. I'm trying to find him. I'm trying to find him. No, this is just part one. This is just part one. This ain't shit. This ain't shit. This has just begun because I want David Thomas Cash Jr. to know that Sherrice Iverson's life mattered. And because of him, she's not here today. Okay? I'm going to show you this real quick before I go. I made this video. There's much more that I'm going to do on this case because it really got to me. This guy is unbelievable, VPS. What? I would like to go live around 3:15 to show you the chicken man. Of course I will. I'll be there. You just let me know and I'm over there. You know that. Come on now. So, BPS, before I go, I'm going to show you something I made just for David Thomas Cash Jr. to see. And I'm going to put it all over my social medias.
My name is Sherrice Iverson. When I was 7 years old, I was sexual assaulted and murdered by Jeremy Stromier, while David Cash Jr. watched and did not try to save me. Today, David Cash Jr. is walking the streets happy and free.
I know, it's pretty creepy. I know that is, but he needs to hear it from her. I just So when I do, I know, and it gets to people. I know it does. It's people are going to think I'm doing something bad there. No, I'm not. This is just for David Thomas Cash Jr. But there's another 41-minute video. It's not a video. Is it like a 60-minute thing? Let me look. What is it? Oh, it's Justice Files. Justice Files. That's what it is. But I'm going to go for now. Yeah, just let me know when you're going to go live. I'll be there. You know me. I'm there. It's your fault. You said her name. No, you said what's his name? I'm like, oh my God, this case is horrendous. This is horrible. Sherrice Iverson's life matters. I just wonder if David Cash Jr. has children, grandchildren, whatever it may be. I wouldn't wish that upon anybody this to happen. Right? All right, everybody. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate every one of you. Okay? And part 2 will be coming. And I think maybe BPS, I think I'd like to have you on panel for that. We'll have to plan that. Oh, I'm looking for him, believe me. He's a very hard one to find. Okay? 2016 is the last footsteps I have found on the internet. Cool. Because you're over there, right? And you know this case. So that'd be cool. Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go for now, but hey, Amber, send me the link and I'll be there. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for being here. Justice for Sherrice Iverson.
I woke up on the floor with your name on my mouth. Cold cup, cracked screen, same old ghost in the house.
I kept your jacket on like it could keep me warm, but I've been missing pieces since you walked out the door.
I need a sign, baby, something to feel. I'm tired of the wait, I'm tired of the wheel. If love left a scar, then let it turn gold. I'm reaching for daylight, I'm ready.
What is going on, people? Holy shit.
I woke up on the floor with your name on my mouth. Cold cup, cracked screen, same old ghost in the house.
I kept your jacket on like it could keep me warm, but I've been missing pieces since you walked out the door.
StreamYard, you can kiss my ass. Okay, I paid for you. Dang it. God, that makes me mad. I'm surprised he's there. For real. You've seen this new picture, right? You've seen this new picture. Right there. But here, this guy here. This guy here. All right, everybody. I will talk to you later.